Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Dream Team Tonic podcast, episode 25. I'm Tony, and with me, as usual, is my co-host Ben. You there, Ben?
I'm here, mate.
Good evening, James. Are you there?
I'm here, Tony.
All good. All three of us, all fighting fit. Well, maybe. Are you fighting fit, Ben? How are you, mate?
I'm just getting by. I'm all right.
Yeah, I've heard that the Omicron has got you.
Yeah, it got me.
Got you, mate.
Son boy at home from
yeah. So
school.
you're on. What's your choice of beverage tonight?
Cup of tea and some squash.
Jesus Christ! It must be bad. It must be bad. You're all right over there, James. What are you drinking, mate?
I'm fine. I'm on the coffee actually because I was knackered and I've got to work tomorrow, so thought I'd be sensible for a change.
You lads are making me look bad. Yeah, I might be on the tonics later with the eyes tingling around the glass. But anyway, let's jump straight in to how our teams have done this week on a little bit of a quiet week. Some low scores knocking around. James, as usual, you're up first, mate. How's it going?
Yeah, okay, I guess. I've got 28 points this week. I got rid of Alonso and brought in Cancelo yesterday, which worked out quite well because obviously, actually, Alonso came on in the last seconds, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
So actually, no, I'm actually down on that move. But longer term, that is obviously somebody I'd rather have Cancelo longer term. So there you go.
Yeah.
Very typical. He comes on in the 87th minute or something, doesn't he? But there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So nothing from Edison. I've got 3 from Cancelo, 12 from Robertson, nothing from Trent this week. Not surprising because Liverpool giving up so many bloody chances against Crystal Palace. Ridiculous.
Yeah, it was inevitable, wasn't it, in the end?
Well, in the first 20 minutes, I thought it could be this. Oh, this could be another 7-0, like it was last. The last time we played them at their place, but and then I think we got overconfident, and they grew into the game. And the more chances they got, the more confidence they gained. And in the end, it was quite tight until we got a slightly dubious penalty. But there you go. Moving on, midfield. Bowen, nothing. Bernardo Silva got me 3 points. Kevin De Bruyne got me 5. Lucas Moura didn't even start today, although he did come on, 0 points. Lukaku, 0. Can't wait to get rid of him. Jota, 5 points. And Ronaldo, 0 points. Absolutely crap from up front. So yeah, all out 28 points. Not too bad when you look at some other people's scores, I guess.
All right, steady on. yeah, it has been a low scoring week. There's been not much going on, has there?
Yeah.
With some of the big hitters flopping as usual. Over to mine. Mendy, obviously 0 points. Still sat there with his injury sign on him.
On holiday.
Yeah, he's having a few weeks off. Kepa's done all right, hasn't he?
Yeah.
For the price. You're a good punt, really.
Right.
Rudiger 5 points. Diaz 0. Cancelo 3 points. De Bruyne 5 points. He just missed out on the Storm, did he, De Bruyne? I think when it was quite late on in the game, I think it was sat on him. Who got Starman in that game then? Who stole it?
Was it Rodri
Salisu.
Salisu, yeah. I mean, he were everywhere, weren't he?
Yeah.
He were brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Bowen, 0 points. Maddison, 0 points. Bilver, 3 points, usually, as usual. Jota, 5 points. Antonio, again, quiet game, 0 points. Lukaku, we looked better today, but too little, too late. 0 points again. Couldn't even muster a 7 rating. 21 points all out. Not doing great, that team, to be honest with you. Needs a bit of surgery, but it's got 4 City ready for February. I think, and Chelsea are soon going to change to a sprinkling of Liverpool in time for February, and hopefully give a bit of a boost. I think the top team's about 340th now after this week. Which not having more than two Liverpool. I think, well, obviously having a Liverpool back line with the Crystal Palace goal helped a little bit because I think the effective ownership was so high. I only had Alisson and Trent in my top team. Alisson, who was the Sky man of the match, got a 0 off Dream Team. Not even a 7 rating. So I don't know what
He had a really good game. He kept us in it. Unbelievable.
I thought it were guaranteed 3 points. That when I clicked on it, I looked a bit shocking. But yeah, the two to have was Robbo and VVD. They were the point scorers this weekend. But yeah, over to you, Ben.
Yeah, 29 points. I've pipped you by 1 point, James. Yeah, terrible week. Edison 0. Van Dijk got a goal.
Yeah.
I said it was coming, didn't I?
You did actually. That's the second of the season now.
Yeah. But Robertson outdone him today, didn't he? 12 points.
Yeah.
Rudiger 5 points. Cancelo 3. Alexander 0. Silva 3. De Bruyne 5. Bowen 0. And Ronaldo nada. Jota dodgy penalty. What did you think of that? He got an assist for that as well.
I think it's a penalty, mate.
Do you?
Yeah, really? I do. Only because the distance. At first, I thought he'd lost control of that ball completely. But when you re-look at it, if he isn't took out by that keeper, which is a complete accident, the keeper just obviously thought he's going to shoot, he's trying to block the shot. But if he doesn't block Jota off, I think Jota gets to that ball, even before the defender. I think it's one of those where whichever way it went, you would not really disagree. I think if they give the penalty, you're like, I can understand it. You understand he could possibly have got to that ball. If they didn't give it, you could probably think, well, is he actually going to get to that ball and do a bit of damage? But he's been taken out. If you take away whether he's going to get to the ball or not, he's been took out. So it's a foul. It is a foul.
It looked like he changed his direction and tried to run towards the goalkeeper.
Possibly. I mean, it come from a miss hit because he tried to flick it over him, didn't he? He's flicked his foot out to flick it over him, missed the ball and maybe touched it past him a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it could have gone one way or over. But I don't think there's too many complaints about a penalty, and there's definitely no complaints about the 5 points because they were much welcome. To be fair.
Yeah, and then you got Lukaku, who's going to be going next week when he get new transfers. Well, it's not next week, is it? International break next week.
Yeah.
For the rest of the world, but not for Europe.
Yeah, so a bit of a low-scoring week, but that's how it goes sometimes, isn't it? There's not that many massive scores around, so I think Lukaku get gone before that. Are you going to do it before the cup game?
Yeah,
obviously with some teams having a double week that week, haven't they?
Yeah, I think so. I might leave him in a couple of teams that I've got him in, but I'd definitely take him out this one. Pick somebody else who I think will get 2 games.
Yeah. What about the Egyptian king? Are you not considering him?
Yeah, well, is he going to be back for that game?
Well, if they go out against the Ivory Coast on Wednesday, I think Klopp will give him a week's rest, and we don't play till the following Thursday. So, if you take out the FA Cup game, which is always at the weekend, the following games, I think Leicester on the Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday.
So I think he'll be back for that if we go out again. If Egypt go out against Ivory Coast, and that's given him a nice week's rest. Probably wouldn't have played in the FA Cup anyway, or it's questionable whether he would.
Yeah.
So I'm actually thinking of bringing him in because I've got spare. I've been keeping transfers back for this very scenario. Well, saying that he'd probably go through now, won't he? After all that, but if he goes out, then I'm looking at bringing him in, even though he's only going to have one fixture.
It's going to be tough to wait all the way till Thursday to bring him in, though, when there's all them points up on there for you. Like Ronaldo might not play on this Friday, but then he might play Tuesday, so then he's blocked
Yep.
So it's tough.
Hmm.
I probably do it the week after, but you don't know how it's all going to fall. Who's going to play in the FA Cup?
Yeah.
Anyone can play.
Yep.
Yes, it's
I,
going to
I,
be a little bit of a lottery.
I just want a quick shout out. My best team is up to 230th now.
Happy days, mate.
I had a double defence of Robertson and Van Dijk, so that shot me up 100 places.
You'll
They were the
be
two you wanted.
Yeah,
you'll
differential,
be
isn't it? Really?
you'll be catching me on. I'll be seeing you on the way down at this rate.
No.
I've dropped to 85th.
You'll still be up there, mate. Don't worry.
Yeah. Small gains.
Nice one, Ben.
See, once you're up in that like top few hundred, it doesn't take much to go up and down.
Yeah.
They're very, very close, the points, and obviously a lot of teams are pretty similar up there. The ownership is quite high on some players, but Robbo and Van Dijk double today was probably the one. Obviously with Trent, Matip, Allison all losing the clean sheets. Obviously Robbo and Van Dijk did, but they got the points from elsewhere. It's a good boost for them owners, and obviously having the double Ben is a massive bonus. So fair play, well played, mate. Right, let's delve into the listener questions.
Let's do it.
Question from Ash on the Patreon. His second team is 160 points behind. His next lot of transfers, he wants them to be all non-top 10 players. When he says that, when he said that, I've took it as in not top 10 owned. I was guessing.
Yeah.
Not top 10 teams. He sent his team in, which I'll have a quick run through in a second. He wants to know what transfers he'll need. He wants big differentials, big differences. His team is Ederson, Rudiger, Maguire, Cancelo, Silva, Sancho, Maddison, Tillemans, Antonio, Firmino, Jesus. James,
Right.
what are you going to do with that lot, mate?
Obviously, I would have said bring Salah and Mara straight back in, but obviously, I don't think that really answers the question, does it? Because he wants differentials to close the gap. So, I've picked three players who I think are the ones that definitely should come out sooner rather than later. That's Sancho, Rudiger, and Firmino. I would. Did you know Robertson's only 8.9% owned in the overall game? I still think that's fairly low. So we wouldn't call that a wild differential, but it's certainly he's only in less than 1 in 10 teams. If you really want to go for it, you could consider bringing in Ben Rama for Sancho. He's back from the AFCON. Should be starting the next game, I would have thought. But he had a terrible run before he went.
Yeah.
So that might be slightly out there. Or you could go for a Ziyech, couldn't you? Can he stay in that side?
It's whether he stays on the pitch, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's got the talent. There's no question about his talent. He's a goal scorer. The balls that he puts into his left foot, he's unreal.
Yeah.
But he's so hit and miss that whether he's ever going to be inside, and sometimes he'll go 2 or 3 games not playing.
Yeah.
That's the frustration, isn't it?
They need. I've said this before to whoever will listen. Is that Chelsea need more creativity in that side, and Ziyech is going to provide that. So why the hell wouldn't he start? He's played well today, and of course he got a goal. What was it the last game as well? And didn't celebrate, which caused headlines. So he's clearly got some talent there. I think he should be starting, but my name's not Thomas Tuchel, so
Well, I'm with you, James. I think the same there. Because not only that, he grafts. I'd like to see his stats on his running because he's a grafter as well. And I think the other night with the non-celebration, I think that's more. I should be in the side. I think it's an angry celebration, isn't it? It's like I want more game time.
Yeah,
like, this is what I can do. Like put me in the side, and obviously he's shown again today. It's not just his work, like his goals, it's his work ethic as well. So
Nice goal, wasn't it? It was curled. Well, the keeper, Lloris just looked at it and thought, "Nah, I'm not going to get that."
Yeah, it's right in the top corner. It's an
Yeah,
absolute peach.
Just dip straight in, didn't it?
Yeah,
yeah.
unbelievable strike.
So for me, for Firmino, I've put down Dakar. My only slight concern there, of course, is that obviously Iheanacho might be back from the Afcon soon. What's the status on Vardy, Ben? Do you know? Is he back
Like
anytime soon?
another 4 or 5 weeks.
Oh, okay. He's still out for a while then. So
Yeah.
Dakar's probably a good option then, because you've said before he was brought in as like the like for like replacement for Vardy. So there's a good chance that he'll keep starting games. So
Yeah,
and he's banged in the last couple. So there's three differentials for you. What about you guys?
Yeah, well, his team is already full of differentials.
that's
It
that,
is,
that,
isn't it?
that's what I've got wrote down here.
Yeah, and it's set up perfectly for the FA Cup for fourth round. If you want to go for differentials, obviously, I could pick 6 players I'd get rid of, but this week I would only get rid of one. I mean, for the next fixtures, I'd only get rid of one, and that's Rudiger. And obviously, you want a differential player in there. So, like you said, Robertson's 8.9% owned is a good player to put in there. Or you could bring in Laporte. I can't remember how much he's owned. Hang on.
He's still around the 10% mark, Ben, because I
Yeah,
looked earlier.
I knew
Yeah,
he was low.
it's still
Yeah,
low.
5.4. So he could have a triple Man City back line then with Maguire. And then obviously you've got your Sancho, who I'd probably just leave him in for the next game week because they've got Middlesbrough and Burnley. Obviously, if he starts on the Friday, it's the first game of the weekend. You can get rid of him if you don't start.
That's a good shout. Yeah.
And then obviously Burnley are not pulling up any trees, so it's worth to keep him for that and one more game week, I reckon. You've got Jesus as well. Jesus, I'd probably keep for another this game week with the Fulham and Brentford because he'll probably play in the FA Cup. And Antonio as well. Antonio's not really doing anything, but them fixtures, you've got Kidderminster, Watford is a double game week. So same again, I'd keep him. And then obviously Firmino. You think that Salah will be back on the Thursday for the Leicester game?
Yeah.
So
If they go out, yeah.
yeah. So if it's only a single game day against Cardiff, I probably would do the Daka move and get a 2-for-1. So maybe two transfers for the first week back when we get the transfers in. What do you think, Tone?
Yeah, like I say, I picked up straight away on that the fact that that team is full of differentials, and I think that's probably the reason, Ash, that you're 160 points behind there is because you've not got the likes of Trenting, De Bruyne, these big hitters that are obviously got Cancelo there. There's that front line of Firmino, Jesus. You could probably go as far as saying Antonio as well. Are all pretty differential. I have Daka here wrote down, which would give you a triple up on Leicester, who have plenty of fixtures coming up, which would be differential, especially to get the scoring boots on.
You brought him in this week, didn't you?
Yeah, I missed out last week, and I braved it this week in my third best team, and a team a little bit further down, Lukaku to Daka, and I think I did. Did I do Rudiger? Who was it? Rudiger, Alonso? Can't remember now. One of them across to Daka as well.
Passa Daka, Samina Zagagalewa. It comes from Zambia.
Yeah, there we are. Yeah, I mean we've been banging on about it, haven't we? And 2-2 now, 2 8-pointers.
Yeah.
He's doing a lot more than Lukaku's doing. So, and obviously going into next month, he's good to have in there because Leicester have got the fixtures. Chelsea have no fixtures. Yeah, happy enough with that move. Hopefully Vardy stays out for a little bit longer, and and Iheanacho, obviously him coming back, I don't think that's going to affect it too much. I think Daka will be pretty safe. This is his chance now to make it that position his own.
Yeah.
He could very much have Vardy sat on bench for a while, even when he comes back from injury, if he can perform. So Daka's up there, and then obviously we have touched a little bit the last couple of pods on the return of Son. Now with Spurs fixtures, we don't really know whether they're going to fill them two blanks in on their midweek games. I'd like to think they will, because there's not much of a chance of getting all these replays done. But if Spurs have them fixtures added in, then Son's a good differential, I think, to throw up there. Obviously, without if you've not got Kane. I'm just not too sure whether he's chasing. Is he chasing someone who's under 60 points ahead of him in a mini league, or is he? Because at his team's overall score, if he's looking to climb the overall table,
No, it's 160 points behind his mini league rival. Look, you just have to look at the season points to see that. So
right.
That's what his aim is.
It'd been handy just to see that rivals team, just to fully know where he needs to go different. But I mean, it's very different as it is. Sancho, if he's not playing on that first game, we come back in that cup game, I'd be rid, definitely. Jesus, who did so well, didn't he, at the start of the season? That he was playing really well. Not doing much
at all, is he?
No, I mean his game time's limited again. That's a frustration.
Well, since I picked him as a differential in December, he's been absolutely crap, which seems to be a running theme recently. But we'll talk about that later. No doubt.
Yeah, we will. We'll touch on that. But yeah, for me, I've got two for you there, Ash, which is Daka and Son, which I'd probably do for Firmino or Jesus. I'd probably leave Antonio in. Sancho again. A drop down, possibly to Robbo at the back, and Laporte in for Rudiger. Gives you a triple up on the City defence, depending on what the guys above. Because if the guys above is heavy City defence, then it's not going differential again, is it? So you probably want to try and bring in Trent or VVD. But yeah, there's enough there to ponder, or Ash. Hopefully you get that sorted. Next question, Mikey White. That was the £50 game week 20 winner.
Yep.
Yeah, beat me to it.
Yeah, picture to the post then. A bit of a race between the patrons. Right, Mikey White, it's reasonably obvious who the best defenders are, and with limited options up front, it makes for easier decisions. I think midfield is where the battle is. Who do you think are the top 4 midfield assets for February? And thanks again for the 50 quid, gents. It went down a treat last night. So he's already drank it. I thought it was just me with a drink problem.
Well done, Mikey.
Well done, Mikey.
Straight down the pub with his 50 quid, eh?
Yeah.
That's good going.
Happy days, Mikey. Well done, mate. Ben, what do you reckon, mate? Top 4 midfield assets for Feb?
Well, for me, I think you've got to start looking at Man City midfielders. Kevin De Bruyne is number 1 for me. And then Mahrez. Yeah. Mahrez, when he's back, bang him in. And then it's a toss-up between 3 here, because like Bernardo, you probably already got Bernardo. Everyone's got Bernardo. If you know anything about Dream Team, it's so cheap. But it's having 3. You've got 3 Man City midfielders. That's the only problem. Or you could have Maddison, who's got the fixtures. He's got the extra games, and he's like the main man at Leicester. And then there's Bowen, who's got good fixtures, but he hasn't got as many fixtures as Leicester or Man City. But he's on fire, isn't he? So
yeah,
wouldn't bet against him scoring against Kidderminster, Watford, Leicester, Newcastle, Wolves. So, about you, James?
Well, I pretty much wrote down exactly what you've just said. KDB, Mahrez, Sterling, and then probably if you've got Bowen, you want to keep him maybe
Yeah.
till mid-February, and then you need to get rid of him because for lack of fixtures, and maybe bring in Madison instead. So pretty much exactly the players that you identified. So yeah, we're all looking at the same guys by the looks of it.
I've got here De Bruyne, Bowen, Madison, and Foden / Silva.
Yeah.
I think I'd look at the effective ownership of the City midfield, and in the top 1K, nearly every team has two City midfielders. So obviously it's a little bit different to defence, obviously when you're talking clean sheets, but it shows you where the midfields are at in the top 1K. They've minimum really they've got two midfielders from City, which is probably going to be KDB and Silva. Like you say, Sterling, Foden are up there, and then now you're going to throw Mahrez back into the mix. It's going to get a little bit tricky with them City midfielders again. I think Madison for February with all them fixtures. They've got so many fixtures to rearrange as well. And if he can stay fit, he's one of the first names on team sheet at the minute, Madison. So I think his place is probably safer. He's probably a bit safer than Barnes. Did Barnes get benched the other day?
Yeah.
I mean,
Barnes came off the bench.
So whether that was just giving Barnes a bit of a rest, I don't know. But Lookman's doing all right there. He seems to have maybe cemented a little bit of a place in that side. Obviously, Dak up top with Vardy out, and Madison playing in behind. I just think he's a good shout for February.
How did Madison look today, Ben? Did you watch the game?
Yeah, he looked all right. But as soon as they went 1-0 up in the second half, he started taking off Barnes, Lookman, and then he had no creativity, and then it was like backs against the wall.
Yeah, I've seen that sub where it's Sumera come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the exact same at the time. I think if 1-0, you don't start taking these players off. That's too early. That you need to get that second goal, and then that's fine. Then shore up. You always. The danger is because I think towards the end of the game, I didn't watch it, but from what I was seeing on the stats and stuff, is that Brighton then they were the only ones that were going to win it at the end.
Yeah,
because like you say, you're 1-0 up. As soon as you take your attacking creativity off. Once they equalise, you've no creativity up there now.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're built to defend. So, so then you get Brighton coming at you.
And we can't defend, so we should have carried on attacking.
That's it. Fully agree.
Like you say, get the second goal. Should have learned from bloody the Spurs match.
Yeah, completely agree. Completely agree with that. But yeah, Madison pivotal to what Leicester are doing at the minute.
Yeah.
So for me, I think he's one of the best options out there. Right, Connor has been on the Patreon. Name me an ideal 11 in the 4-4-2 formation for the month of February and beyond, lads. James.
Well, I imagine that these are all going to be quite similar. I've gone for Edison in goal, Cancelo, Trent, Robertson, Laporte.
yeah.
Then the midfielders I mentioned earlier, really, KDB, Mahrez, Madison, Sterling, and up front, Salah and Kane.
Wow. Ben?
Yeah, Edison, Trent, Van Dijk. Gone for Van Dijk over Robertson. I've got to back him, haven't I?
Right.
Yeah, I said it the last few pods ago.
Yeah.
Laporte, Cancelo, KDB, Mahrez, Madison, and then Bowen or Bernardo, and then Kane and Salah.
Well,
very similar.
Very similar.
Let's go for a clean sweep here. Edison in goal. Trent, Robbo, Cancelo, Laporte. KDB, Foden or Silva, Madison, Bowen, Kane and Salah up top.
Oh,
that's the team, isn't it?
There, is there?
We're probably going to end up quite template. But then, yeah, that is the best. Probably one, like amongst what we've said. There's a couple of players different, but in there is the best 4-4-2 for the month and beyond. I think that's what we think. Right, Lee Hooper. My question is: everyone's on about 4-4-2, which is understandable, but surely, some of the big strikers have to bang soon. He finds it hard to believe that Romelu, Ronaldo, and Kane can keep having such mediocre goal returns. James.
Well, I think that's a little bit harsh on Kane. He's actually been doing all right. I wouldn't say he's been banging them in, I suppose. I personally think I'm going to stick to 3-4-3 in most of my teams. In my opinion, Salah, Kane, and Jota are a great front line. Ronaldo has great fixtures, but he's been hit and miss. He's so expensive as well.
Yeah.
I mean, Lukaku just isn't getting the service he needs to thrive, and I will be ditching him from all my sides. I mean, he's off to the World Club Cup anyway. I think when maybe Reece James comes back, and there's rumor he's back on the training field, I might consider going back to a back four then. I think there's definitely nothing wrong with the back four, but there are some striker options. But yeah, it is limited, I think. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, totally agree. Like you said, Salah, Kane, Jota, and Ronaldo. But like, this is when people do changes. So if someone misses a game in the FA Cup, you might end up taking Ronaldo out if you don't play against Middlesbrough on the Friday. And then they might move to Jota or something like that, or Salah if he's back for Thursday. And obviously, then you've got the next strikers down at worth a punt is obviously we said Daka and Antonio, who's got decent fixtures, but I wouldn't be bringing Antonio in. He's been awful late, not been getting many goals. And Watkins has got good fixtures, but he hasn't scored many goals lately either. But they've got Leeds, Newcastle, possible Leeds again, then Watford, then a possible Burnley and Brighton. If the fixtures get sorted out sooner rather than later, the rearranged ones. With Coutinho behind him as well, and Buendia playing well, they look good.
Yeah, Buendia. Like we mentioned in the last pod how well he played, and then next thing you know, he pops up with a goal. I think that Coutinho signing is probably the best thing that's ever happened to Buendia. He's on fire.
And Digne playing left back as well.
Yeah, Digne. I got an assist as well back at Everton.
Yeah. And he got a missile.
Yeah. Apparently they arrested them, hadn't they, straight away, more or less.
Did they?
Pretty decent, that, from the CCTV stuff. Fair play to them. But a missile always sounds worse, doesn't it? Got hit by a missile. Yeah, the 4-4-2 I don't think is doing Jota any justice. I think Jota's been a very solid player so far this season. Obviously, a nice big haul the other day. Obviously, 5 points again today. I think Jota's a good option. I think if you're talking about playing 4-4-2 and you're obviously talking about bringing Salah in, and you're going to go Salah Kane, I think it's a bit of a disservice to Jota. I think he's still a very, very good option. Rather than sitting there biting your nails, wondering whether Liverpool and City are going to keep a clean sheet with the which they love to just give one away, don't they? Yeah, I think Jota's still a good option. Jota, Salah are probably the double up, and then Kane, can't discount Kane. He worked his balls off again today. We'll touch on the goal, I think, at some point. He should have had a goal today, in my eyes. Very unlucky. Romelu looked better today, but then we're not going to see him for however long now. So it doesn't matter. Ronaldo is just he's a tart, isn't he? He is. He's so good, but then I don't know. United are crap, aren't they? They're still crap. There's no way. Ranić hasn't done anything for that side. They were better under Solskjaer. I do think they were better under Solskjaer, especially going forwards.
Well, maybe they're a bit better defensively under Rangnick, I would say.
Yeah,
'Cause they were
yeah, I give him
shipping
that.
goals left, right, and centre.
I give
But
it.
yeah, to get your point, totally.
I just, you've got all this world class talent. It's not like you've got Sam Allardyce going in there to try and shore things up. I don't. He should have been able to walk in there, a world class coach go in there with them players and get them ticking. If there's something going wrong in the dressing room and there's not quite the atmosphere, there's not the camaraderie or whatever else, get rid of the bad eggs. Pogba being one of them. Absolute sour faced prick. I hate him. You can tell. You can tell he's one of the problems. You see him on training pitch. He's never in squad, is he?
He's just come back, hasn't he?
Was he in squad?
I don't know, actually.
I don't think he was, but he is getting close to return now, isn't he? He's been out injured for a long time.
I always see he's injured, but he's on training pitch with these pictures that they like to do for like Instagram and all that crap. Honestly, there's something seriously wrong at United, and Ranić hasn't sorted it. But yeah, that's the problem with Ronaldo, is the fact that he's played in a crap side. It's one of them. So he's not going to.
He'll get a couple of penalties in the next game, and then everyone will be jumping back on him.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. He can score at any point.
Yeah,
and that he still if I've not got him in my side, it still worries me every time United line up. But then you get to the 70th minute and they still haven't scored and they've not had many chances. You're just like, yeah, thank God I didn't bring him in. But
well, if you look at Jota's points, he's not far behind Ronaldo, and Ronaldo is 8.5 million. So do your maths, think about it, see what you can do with the rest of that money, and it is quite a lot.
Yeah, definitely. If you need the money to upgrade your team, it's probably worth it.
Definitely. And still, until United start ticking, and because they've got the quality to tick, and still until they start ticking, I'm away from Ronaldo. I'm done with that.
They've got some good fixtures, though, haven't they?
I know.
We could end up with egg on our faces.
Yeah,
we take him out.
We've been barking on about the fixtures, haven't we? We keep saying about the fixtures, and it's just not come to fruition. I think we need to see something now from United, because they've had, this is the second point. They had the fixtures at the very start of the season, and a lot of it fell. A lot of the teams, the blocks and stuff, fell on the face. But then they've had another good batch of fixtures, and what have they done?
Well, they should be beating the likes of Brentford, really, shouldn't they? You would think.
Yeah, and they made a meal of that.
Exactly. They only won that in the last couple of seconds, didn't they? If I remember. But so they beat. Yeah, they beat West Ham in the death, didn't they? They actually beat Brentford 3-1, but they made a meal of it. They drew with Villa before that.
2-0 up.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the game before that, they played Villa in the Cup and only scraped that. They were lucky to win that FA Cup game against Villa.
Yeah, definitely.
They lost to Wolves 1-0. So, yeah, they're not exactly pulling up trees, as they say, are they?
That Brentford game, Ronaldo got took off in that game, didn't he?
Yeah.
Is that the one where he had his big sulk?
Yeah, he had a bit of a tantrum, didn't he?
Was that a 0-0 or was that a 1-0?
I'm the GOAT.
Was it 0-0?
I think it was 2-0 when he took him off.
Oh, was it?
Well. And then Rashford scored like right at the end, and then he was like, "Oh, okay, you're all right. Take me off."
Well, yeah, just want for me, my personal opinion. Obviously, I don't see much from United at the minute, and Ronaldo is the best goal scorers in the world, and he will score goals, he will score points. But until they get it sorted, I don't think it's to be feared as much as what you think. I'd be more scared of not having Harry Kane anyway.
What about when the European competition comes back? Do you think that should change our thinking? Because prior to sort of last year, a lot of Ronaldo's dream team points came from the European fixtures, didn't
Yeah.
they? And he bailed them out. So maybe we should, if we're off Ronaldo now, maybe we should be looking at him again around the 19th of February when they play Atalanta.
Atletico Madrid, that.
Oh, Atletico, sorry. Oh well, actually, I wouldn't fancy them against Atletico Madrid, would you?
The
They're a tough
fixtures
side.
around that, they were quite nice, aren't they? Watford and Leeds, Southampton, Burnley.
Mind you, Atletico look rubbish against Liverpool, but historically,
Yeah, they've been
in
solid,
previous
haven't they?
seasons, yeah, they're one side you don't want to play. Really, they grind it out.
Yeah.
They're dirty. They're like Burnley with with a bit of flair up top.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if I'd fancy him to get money against them, but who knows?
Burnley with some frilly knickers on. Oh dear. Yeah, Atletico. Yeah, football spoilers. Yeah, to be fair to him though, Atletico and Diego Simeone, he's done a cracking job there. He's for years.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think this year are they struggling a little bit. They're not doing that great, are they? They don't look great anyway. I
They
think
didn't look great. Again, we played them twice, and they didn't look the side that they were.
Yeah. But yeah, they have been. They've been a tough side for years now, especially they've been upsetting Real Madrid and Barca for a good few years, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. Yeah, which is which is difficult to do, isn't it? Considering their budgets. Well, at least their budgets in the past have been
Well, yeah,
higher.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
not now. I mean, Atletico are buying Barcelona players, and it's the other way around, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Crazy. Right, we digressed, Lee, but yeah, I'm sure you'll have got your answer in there, mate. Gazzy's right arm on the Patreon. Having stuck with City and Liverpool core from week one, he's reluctant to change. But are Chelsea or United worth considering for Feb March? If so, who would you put forward? Thinking of using 3 transfers in February to bring back Salah and Mahrez. You're thinking about dropping Sterling? Are you just adding your best 4-4-2s? And Ronaldo. Also, Lukaku to Laporte. That's sensible. Should just about be manageable. He's going to 4-4-2 with City and the Liverpool core. 2 floaters, Bowen and Kane at the moment. What's our thoughts? James, a lot there to get in, but we'll start with the first bit about the Chelsea and United.
Well, I wouldn't be touching United as we've discussed. Apart from Ronaldo, Fernandes, if he starts showing some inconsistent form. But apart from that, I wouldn't go there. I wouldn't move away from City and Liverpool, which is he's got at his core. What I would say though is that around the 19th of February, you should be looking at bringing some Chelsea players back in potentially, particularly at the back. Keep an eye out for Reece James and his return, because that should make them back a bit more solid than I think. So yeah, I wouldn't touch United, but yeah, Chelsea, don't rule out Chelsea when they come back on the 19th of February, I'd say.
James, you took the words right out of my mouth.
R.I.P. Meatloaf.
R.I.P. Meatloaf.
Legend.
Yeah, I was going to say that about the 19th of February. Keep an eye out on Chelsea. But yeah, I wouldn't bring in any Man U players. The only one I'd keep long term is Ronaldo if I've got him. But if you need the cash, like you say, you can drop to Jota. He's like 3 million cheaper. 3.1 cheaper at the minute. So yeah, you pretty much covered it there, mate.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you don't want to bring them Chelsea lads back in. We'll probably be discussing. Lukaku will go off to the Club World Cup. He'll bag 6 goals in 4 games, and we'll all be clamouring to get him back in, and everything will be rosy again. But yeah, Salah, Mahrez. Mahrez, I mean, he's a nemesis of mine, really. But Am I going to touch him again? I don't know. Probably not straight off the bat. Salah will be straight back in. What do you think about dropping Sterling, James? I think probably your 4-4-2. Would you drop Sterling?
I don't know. It's a tricky one. That who know those when you get past KDB, the other midfielders are like it's like a juggling. Well, I don't know what I'm talking about. It's a toss up, isn't it?
Yeah.
You never know which one they're going to come back into form. Up in this, in the run up, sort of around December, early Jan, then Sterling was the form player. So he didn't look great against Southampton. He got hooked off.
59 minutes.
He was. I meant to put this into group, but he was playing like the Sterling of old when he was getting dropped, because over the last however long since we've seen him, and he nailed his place back in that team. When every time we were picking the ball up, he was driving at defenders. He was doing this, he was doing that, making the right decisions. But he was that nervous, indecisive Sterling that we've seen sometimes, and I'm not surprised he got hooked. Whether that could kill his confidence, but maybe Pep just didn't want it to go on for any longer because he was pretty bad.
How did he miss that chance? The one-on-one chance. God,
I don't know.
my nana would have scored that.
But we've seen this season the best and worst of Sterling, because he got up to a point where he was beginning to be that unplayable Sterling, where he was absolutely electric. He's such a confidence player, and whatever's gone on, he's not quite right. But that's probably why Gaz is thinking Mahrez in for Sterling.
Yeah, I don't think that's well. Mahrez, he does it every season, doesn't he? Before he went away to the AFCON, he was the top midfielder. He'll probably finish top midfielder, won't he? Wouldn't be surprised, would you? Maybe KDB might pip him.
Yeah, I think he'll be up his arse at some point.
It's a bit like the ceiling of Laporte is a bit lower than like Sterling. Won't be as consistent as Laporte can be, but he's got a higher ceiling, hasn't he? He could score a hat trick or something like that.
Yeah.
But Laporte will just plod along getting 8s, 5s. So it's a tricky one.
That's it. Looking at Gaz's team there.
Spot on, innit? It's good.
Yeah, it's a good side. There's no major surgery there, mate, so don't be worrying about it. Obviously, Salah to get back in there. And the Mahrez to Sterling, it could work out that. Right. Andy Barnett. Nobody seems to be harping on about them. But Spurs, if they win against Chelsea, which they didn't, but obviously this is a few hours before, could move into the top 4 with a few games in hand. They've got quite a few, haven't they? They've got about 3 or 4 games, haven't they? I think on Chelsea they've got 4 games. Crazy. This is no accident, so it's now time to start thinking about their defence. In the last 6 Premier League games, they've scored 13 and only conceded 5. And 4 of the 5 were conceded against Liverpool and Leicester. Do you say it's 3 games? Sorry, Ben.
Yeah.
3 games. So, what do you reckon about that, James? Spurs defence.
Wow. Spurs, over the last 5 games, Spurs have had the second best expected clean sheets and expected goals conceded. Man City are top. But saying that, they haven't had a clean sheet since they played Watford on the 1st of January. So it's not actually been translated into points. To be fair, they've had some tough fixtures, so you could sort of say that they've been a tad unlucky in that respect. Would you really be, though, I don't know, unless you're chasing, would you really be looking outside of Liverpool and City at the moment for Spurs players? We've got Reguilon at left back, who seems to be in and out of the side. He was on the bench today. I think he might be carrying a knock or something. You got Emerson Royale on the right-hand side. He was on the bench today, bizarrely. I think possibly what Conte was trying to do was to come up with a different way of trying to beat Chelsea and going with a back four. But strangely, Matt Doherty played on the right of the back four. It was a slightly odd lineup, I thought. Who would you pick in that Spurs defence, though, if you've got doubts over Reguilon and Emerson Royale? Eric Dyer's quite cheap, I suppose. He seems to be the one that is Conte's go-to player, but I don't know. I'm not jumping on. I won't be jumping on Spurs. I've got Reguilon in a couple of sides, so that's a bit annoying. I don't think I'm going to be going in with both feet on Spurs myself. What do you think, guys?
Yeah, it's tricky. I wouldn't be bringing in any really. They played with six identified defenders.
Yeah, they did.
Ridiculous. Doing a bit of a Stoke, Tony Pulis.
I think their wing. So they played 4-4-2.
Yeah,
but the wingers were right backs or left backs.
Yeah.
So Doherty played wide right.
Yeah.
Obviously backing up Tanganga on the right.
Yeah.
And obviously with Sessegnon on the left, backing up Ben Davies.
Mm-hmm.
You see, I didn't get it because I don't think are Chelsea the most wing. Like, if they were playing on Liverpool and they had Salah and Mane on the wings, I get that. Are you putting 2 left backs, 2 right backs because these right backs have the capabilities of bombing forward anyway, and you've also then got a couple of. They've got the defensive mind to double up on the Salah or Mane. Against Chelsea, I don't quite see that myself. But again, I'm not Antonio Conte, and they look solid enough. Spurs. They didn't look that bad, but it nullifies things going forward, doesn't it? I thought Kane put a decent shift in. I thought Bergwijn looked all right actually next to him. Bit of a grafter, runs around a lot. End product. I think he got his reward, didn't he, for that upset at Leicester the other night. And he did all right. Mora looked decent when he come on. But defensive assets for Spurs, beyond Dyer, who obviously takes free kicks, loves to have a shot from a free kick, doesn't he? A little bit like Ronaldo, just levers them into the stand or into the wall.
Don't think he scored since the World Cup or something when he scored for England. Remember the Euros it was? Euro 2018?
Yes.
2016?
These free kick takers that lever the ball, they're tosh. You go back all the way back to David Beckham, and you give me someone who likes to curl it into the top corner every single time. Ward-Prowse, the best.
Yeah, what about Ward-Prowse? He levered it the other day, though, and he got one in against Wolves.
Yeah, but the only happened. That's because of how far out it was.
Yeah.
The only happened once in a blue moon. Ronaldo gives it all this big step up and all the big breathing and all that shit.
He's not scored a free kick since 2019.
They are. And he takes every pissing one.
Exactly. I've been a load of Man United fans are really up in arms about it. They're like, we've got Fernandes, we've got apparently Tellez is quite good at free kicks as well.
Yeah, talented.
Take him because Ronaldo's just he hasn't scored a free kick for years.
Free kicks from that 20 yards, wherever it is, they're all about placing it into that corner. It's not about levering it and hoping for it best. Yeah, pisses me off, that does. But yeah, where was I? Right, yeah, Dyer. Dyer likes to take a free kick, although he does like to lever them, so don't do much use. But he might win a corner now and again. Yeah, other than that, if he's going to start swapping and changing with Reguilon and Emerson Royale, they're not safe bets. They do look more solid, Spurs, definitely. The eye test definitely backs up what the XGC and all that stuff is saying about Spurs being a lot more solid. But, it's not translating into points, as James says. So it's not somewhere where I'll be jumping on soon. Obviously, the fancied picks for February onwards is Liverpool and City. I think I'll just stick around that area for now. And obviously then We're talking mid-February, back end of February, 19th Feb. All these Chelsea assets coming back into play, so you don't want to take too much of a punt because it's going to move around a lot in the middle of February as well. Are people going to jump back off a couple of Liverpool assets onto Chelsea assets to bring in the likes of Rudiger and the likes? We don't know, but I'd rather be doing that than probably bringing in Spurs. But yeah, that's just my opinion.
I think I'd rather leave the Chelsea defenders in than punt on Spurs.
Yeah, take them out and then because Chelsea have such a nice run of fixtures, don't they? After that, we'll touch on it. They've got Crystal Palace, Lille, Liverpool, obviously not the greatest one. Burnley, Newcastle, Lille again, Norwich, Brentford, Southampton, Leeds, West Ham, Everton, Wolves, Man United, Watford. Now, if there's no clean sheets in there, Jesus, I think, like Ben says, you'd probably rather leave them in than use 2 transfers or so. Yeah. For me, you should already be on half on the City Liverpool train, I guess, and you can pivot across to Chelsea when needed. Right, C Tobbs, please give your opinion on having one of Digne or Ramsey. Very cheap and might be needed to get Salah back, and another City mid for me. Are there better options for enablers, e.g. Fabinho, Fred, Kovacic, a European player? If so, who? What are each of your top 2 to 3 transfer target plans for Feb? Go on then, Ben. What do you reckon, mate?
Yeah, if you're looking for a cheap enabler, Digne's a good one. I like that. 2.4 million, and he's got good fixtures. Ramsey's probably the cheapest one. 1.8 million. Looks like he's nailed in the Villa side, doesn't he? And he's playing really well. But for me, I'd probably go up a little bit to Lookman. He's 2.6 million, and he's basically nailed in the Leicester side at the minute. And with them having double game weeks all the way through February, and that double header against Randers, I think that could be a good differential.
Was that Lookman you said to Ben?
Yeah,
Yeah, you cut
Lookman.
out briefly.
Yeah, Lookman, 2.6 million.
Good shout.
And like you said, if you've already got Ronaldo and you wanted to downgrade him to even your team out a bit, you can go to Jota. 3 million saving on that.
Definitely. When you think of Fabinho, the goal machine.
I don't mind it. But obviously, when Salah's back, then these penalties will be back with Salah. Or Milner gets them anyway when he's on the pitch. But luckily, Milner wasn't on the pitch till a minute later, was he? Then
he was stood at side warming up.
Oh no!
Go on, get me on. While they were doing the review, the VAR review, I bet you were like, "Go on, get me on.
Yeah.
Put me on now."
Doesn't always work out though, does it? When they bring a player onto the pitch and then he takes the penalty.
That's a good point.
How many times have you seen them come on and miss?
Yeah.
Even the normal Mr. Reliable at West Ham.
Oh, that was awful. That was awful.
He came on and missed one, didn't he?
Vardy did it this year as well.
Yeah. I think players need to sort of get into the game a little bit. Just to come on and take a penalty doesn't work, does it?
And the Euro final as well, with Rashford and Sancho coming on, weren't they?
Oh God! Don't. I've tried to.
Block that out with memory.
Ben, thank you for reminding me.
You're welcome, mate.
Yeah, nightmares tonight now again. Going to come back to me. Yeah, Digne. I wouldn't take up a midfield spot with Ramsey as an enabler. If you. Digne, yeah, like I say, they've got decent fixtures, haven't they, Villa? He's always a threat. He's been a bit shite at Everton, to be fair, this year. Not doing much, but an assist last game out for Villa. Is he going to get back to his best? Digne now he's at somewhere that I don't think he got on with Rafa Benitez, did he, at Everton? Which is funny now that Rafa's gone.
Agent Rafa.
Yeah. I like Rafa Benitez, me. I think he's someone I'd get along with, I think.
I come to Everton to fuck them up. Agent Rafa.
He did all right, hasn't he? Anyway,
What about
two. Go on, sorry.
what about Lanzini as well? 2.7 million. He's on penalties for West Ham.
He's decent, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you've already got Bowen, you don't want two West Ham midfielders, do you?
No, and their fixtures turn, don't they? Mid Feb, I think, or they haven't got as many.
Yeah, they haven't got as
They
many.
haven't got as many fixtures, have they? So
Still quite good though.
Want to jump off sort of around the 12th of Feb or something.
Yeah, top right. Further on, what are each of your top 2 or 3 transfer target plans for Feb, James?
Salah, Mahrez.
Yeah.
Probably another Liverpool defender, possibly City. I'm still. I think there's more attacking returns in some of the Liverpool defenders than there is in the City ones. Cancelo aside, of course. But then Laporte did score this week. He does get the odd goal.
Yeah.
It's a tough one, that. But I would say Salah, Mahrez, and a City or Liverpool defender would be my top 3.
Yeah. Bam.
I'll go Salah Mahrez and I'll raise it with a Kane. That's for my pod team.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got Salah, Robbo, Laporte. Obviously, it depends which team I'm looking at because some of them are in my teams, but obviously not Salah. Salah's number 1. He needs to come back into all your teams. Make sure he's there. He's the king.
Let's hope people have left enough cash to bring back Salah.
Yeah, that's something. I'm glad that obviously a lot of the teams have ended up on a very good budget because it's something I've not actually had to worry about. Even when I've been chopping and changing here, there, and everywhere, I've got so much money left in bank now. Salah's out of there. But yeah, for people that aren't in that position, like I say, that touch on there with the enablers, obviously, C-Tobbs is obviously asking about Digne, Ramsey, maybe just to enable him to bring Salah back in. So, yeah, you got to get Salah back in at all costs, I guess. BT Patrick. My question is a simple one. Cashing on the pouting prima donna that is Ronaldo, or keep the faith as a set and forget for Feb and decent fixtures for United. We've had a bit of a moan about Ronaldo and this over, but if he's in your side, or you're getting rid of him, James.
I think I'm going to get rid of him because Jota's nearly matching his output, and you can do so much with the budget. So I'm probably going to cash in a few sides for sure.
Ben?
If I've got him in my team, I'm keeping him. And but if you need the money for like Salah, you can just sell Ronaldo and buy Salah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I mean. If you need the cash, Ronaldo's the man to get rid of, I think, as well. I support that. It's not an easy one, is it, selling Ronaldo?
No.
It's
because
not.
So that's why I asked if you've got him, would you sell him? Well, I wouldn't be buying him. I wouldn't be going out and buying him.
The trouble is, if he scores, he's probably likely to get star man, isn't he?
Yeah.
Because of the way everything goes through him.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest concern with getting rid of Ronaldo. If he does, he definitely is going to score. It's just they don't seem to be ripping sides apart at the moment. So whether you're getting value for that $8.5 million that he costs is questionable.
Do you think he gets extra points for that shitty celebration?
I think he might do. Yes, I think they've put that into the who scored ratings. I reckon.
He's second on the average points scored. He's got averaging 6 points a game, behind Salah's 9.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jota's 5.1.
Yeah.
It's not bad, is it? Points per million.
Points per million
for strikers.
That will really highlight the issue.
Yeah.
Patson Daka's on there, just with Harry Kane, 4.8 points a game.
Flying. Right. Aaron Wade. I really want Mahrez in the next refresh on transfers. I know he's expensive, but I'm thinking Ronaldo out to him, switch to 4-4-2. Is that a good idea? Great pod as always. My mini league teams are flying due to you boys and Fergie. Nice plugging it.
Yeah.
On the back of that, I'm going to say to anyone listening, YouTube, Spotify, wherever you're listening, patreon.com/Dream Team Tonic. If you want to support the lads, get across there. Get yourself some extras. Get yourself some more Dream Team content. Get involved with our Discord. We've got a great group of lads on there that are all doing well. And yeah, we get more advice from the lads. But yeah, Ronaldo to Mahrez. Obviously, we just said we'll ditch Ronaldo. Or it'll be a tough choice to ditch Ronaldo. What do you reckon, James?
Well, Mara's going to be a differential, isn't he? Because he's really quite expensive at 6.9 million. And most people will have gotten rid of him, of course, because he's been at the AFCON. So, getting him in early could prove quite fruitful. He'll have had a nice week's rest. I don't see him needing a great deal amount of training to get back up to speed. So I see no reason not to go with him if you fancy him.
Yeah. Bam.
Yeah, you could do it if Ronaldo doesn't play on the Friday, the 5th against Middlesbrough. Then obviously you can have a look at the lineups on Saturday versus Fulham, and then if Mahrez is in there, you could bring him in. I might be doing that, but I don't really want to sell Ronaldo, to tell you the truth. I should have enough value in my team to work something else out.
Yeah.
But he missed the penalty when he was at AFCON as well.
Mahrez.
Yeah. He's not really pulled up any trees while he's been there.
He's probably been saving himself when he comes back here and trolls me.
The mighty Cater has been getting man of the matches, though.
I've seen one of his goals. Lovely goal.
Yeah, he's done very well over there.
Good player, Navigator. I remember when Liverpool signed him, I got quite excited about it because I watched quite a bit of German football when we were at Leipzig, and I felt, Jesus Christ, Liverpool have signed an absolute baller here. It's just never quite. He's looked good in games. He's just never ever been as consistent as what he was before he signed. And
yeah, the problem is obviously number one is injuries. He's always getting injured. And number two, he gives the ball away, and it's cost us on numerous occasions. Giving the ball away in a bad position. So I think that's why his minutes have been limited. Really,
I think he needs to play further forward in that Liverpool side.
When he's like running past players and playing lovely little 1-2s, you see glimpses of that guy that we bought from Leipzig.
Yeah,
wasn't it? It was Leipzig, was it not Red Bull? Red Bull, the Red Bull team.
Yeah, RB Leipzig.
Yeah, RB Leipzig. Oh, sorry,
there's that many of them, James. They're all over, aren't they? RB Salzburg, RB Leipzig. Yeah, but yeah, he is a top drawer player. FF stuff. It's been on. We love Frank's stuff over at FF stuff. Obviously, use a lot of his tools and stuff. Amazing stuff. If you've not been over there and you listen to the pod, ffstuff.co.uk. They are. Quick plug for you there, Frank. He wants to hear our opinion on some of the top 20 bringing in Dennis on Friday. Was it a good decision, just a bad outcome, or were they a bunch of muppets for doing so? My initial reaction was, what the fuck are they doing? And honestly, it was, because I was thinking, you're in a great position. There were quite a few in the top 100 that did it. Where's this thing come from? But I did, after Frank asked the question, obviously I had a little bit of a look into it, and they've got, obviously, Dennis has been on fire for one. His goals and assist output is pretty decent, and then Watford have 5 fixtures before the end of February, which is probably on a par. If like, do you know what I mean? It's not. It's middle ground. They've got enough fixtures. Like I say, they've got the same amount as Spurs and West Ham at the moment. But then they've also got 2 games to rearrange. This is where it actually. I think this is maybe where the thinking comes from, because there's 2 games to rearrange and they've got 2 blank midweeks. Now, if the Palace and Wolves games, which I'm not no fixture planner, I'm not too sure when they're going to get filled in. But if the Palace and Wolves game that they had cancelled gets filled in on them 2 midweeks in February, they're actually going to have 7 fixtures from now. This is after Dennis got sent off. So then when we go back to thinking why did they bring him in, they would be looking at 8 fixtures possibly. So whether that was the reasoning behind it, I don't know. Whether people looked into it that deep, I don't know. What they have done is they got fucking mightily unlucky because he's obviously got a -3 and sent off. So he misses the next game. I think he's back for the game after, isn't he? Because we're only a double yellow. So it's a 1-game ban, is it not?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I don't. I get it, but I don't. Obviously, there's time to take punts in the end. What we at mid to late January. Is it the time to take a punt on Dennis? What do you reckon, James?
Well, who did you 2 captain in FPL this week? Do you remember bring that up?
Ben's on mute because he don't even actually. You don't want to say it.
Well, yeah, they captained the Dennis. So
Yeah, I'm blaming
anyway.
Tony. I
don't blame me.
I had it on Trent, which weren't much better, but
I went
Yeah.
KDB and he got some points. So
Yeah, you did well there, James.
he did all right.
You were my vice captain.
Yeah, I've been watching Dennis quite closely since I picked him as my differential for this month.
Yeah.
And he's done absolutely nothing. And João Pedro, is it João Pedro? The other
Yep.
guy.
Yeah.
He's looked a lot sharper than Dennis. And in fact, Dennis has been taken off a couple of times. He's not been playing 90 minutes. I know he's been carrying a knock and stuff. So I looked, I wouldn't have brought him in myself for those reasons, because I've been with the eye test hasn't done it for me. Prior to that, he looked brilliant. As soon as I pick him as differential, he's rubbish.
Yeah. Ben.
yeah, the fixtures were there, but it's very punty still. I wouldn't have done it in Dream Team. Try and stick to the core players that are in Europe, especially with the European games coming up in February.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be another transfer out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the punt. Like if you look at trying to win a weekly prize or something, but I suppose the ones that are in the top 20, I wouldn't have done it with top 22. No.
Yeah. I mean, your top 20, it's very, very punty.
Yeah.
Very, very. Even with 8 fixtures. So if he had 8 fixtures, are you bringing in Dennis ahead of, I don't know, Jota, who's got 5 or 6 fixtures? Do you know what I mean?
No.
Yeah.
There's no need if you're sat in the top, even the top 100. I know Frank said about the top 20, but even the top 100, it's so punty at this stage.
Oh, they're overthinking it, aren't they? They're looking at the other sides around them. They're all very similar, and
Yeah.
they're trying to do something a bit different. So I suppose you could kind of understand the thought process.
Yeah.
But Dennis, who plays for Watford,
Yeah.
come on, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think a lot of the players that they bring him in will be sat there having a strong glass of whiskey, contemplating where they go from here, because now they've got Dennis sat in their sides. Probably another transfer out used for February that they could have used on a much a much more important transfer. But that's the way it goes. Dennis could have scored a brace rather than getting a red card, and we'd all be thinking, bloody hell, he's still got 7 fixtures left this month as well.
Yeah, could have happened, couldn't it?
But yeah, just a bit of bad luck, probably. Bit of what is it kind of like cold feet, like wanting them points, like you say, wanting to be different quicker than what you have to be, kind of thing. Probably just need a bit of more of a cool head there. Right, Matt Woolley is using his last January transfer to buy back Salah. A bad idea, James. You're our Liverpool insider.
Not at all, Matt. I think well, you need to keep an eye on what happens against the Ivory Coast on Wednesday. But if Egypt go out, I don't see any reason not to bring Salah straight back in. He probably missed the FA Cup game, like I said, but you're gonna need everyone's gonna want Salah back in. He's a points machine.
Yeah,
I think it's too early. I think with them last transfers, if you've got some for the last week of the month and you're seeing other options you want for the next month and they're going to be going up in price, you want to jump on the price rises and then get Salah in when you see him back in the team. What do you think, Toe?
Well, if you want somebody, so we know we have to have Salah back. If you look at your side and you're happy with 10 of them, and you know that other one is Salah,
Yeah,
then maybe why not bring Salah back maybe a bit early? But if there's somebody else you want to bring in, obviously with the Chelsea players,
yeah.
if you've got Chelsea players in there, I would be using them to move a Chelsea player onwards. That would be my idea for the last transfers in January. Would be to remove Chelsea players. Ready for the start of February, and then you've got your full quota of transfers to bring your Chelsea players back later on in month. But yeah, Salah back early. Who knows if he gets kicked out the other night? He might be playing in that cup game just for match fitness. You never know. When's that game, James? The Ivory Coast game
On Wednesday.
On Wednesday.
Yeah.
Be watching that. Well, I say I'll be watching it. I'll be keeping an eye on it anyway.
Come on, Egypt. Stay in as long as possible.
Come on, you elephant. That's the Ivory Coast.
Back to the 10-man game when he comes back.
That's it. It does. Right, Cheeky's been on. Makes me a bit jealous. This Steve Cheek. Here's his question: where's your favourite vacation spot? He's currently in Palm Springs for a couple of weeks. At the time of writing the question, it was 9:30 a.m. Beautiful and sunny. James, favourite vacation spot?
Costa Rica, baby.
Yeah?
I love Costa Rica. I've been there about 4 times. And there's some amazing beaches, some fantastic gentlemen's clubs. So, yeah.
Ben?
Oh, it's got to be Sweet Home Benalmadena.
Yeah.
Where I grew up. Yeah. I miss that place. Yeah. Got to go back there at some point next year, I think. Well, this year now, isn't it?
Well, yeah. Yeah, this year. For me, Tenerife. But I don't like flying anymore.
Tenerife, eh?
So I'm trying to spot out a sailing route to be able to get to Tenerife. But it's one of them.
Flying?
I've flown all my life since being a kid, and I don't know, since having kids, I can't. I've been on a plane quite a few times with kids, like over to Tenerife and that. Probably holidayed there about 8-9 times, but I don't know. It's some. I think it's some age. I just there's a fear of dying now. A fear of dying now. I've got kids. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I'd rather be on a boat. We're going to France this year, hopefully on a boat. So, yeah, go on. Sorry, though.
Talking of Dennis Bergkamp didn't like flying.
It's true. He
I
won't go
was
on the
thinking
away
that
games,
as
would
well.
he?
And I
No.
was thinking of Mr. T. I ain't getting on no plane.
Yeah.
That's exactly how my conversation goes with Mrs. She goes, "Can we book Tenerife this year?" I ain't getting on no plane, fool. We're going to France on a boat. But yeah, I do love it though in Tenerife, Canary Islands, a bit Fuerteventura as well. I loved it over there. It's nice and sunny, isn't it? Guaranteed weather, more or less. But don't get me wrong, I love going glamping. Me being in the middle of the field and just peace and quiet is lovely.
You mad bastard. You're glamping in bloody November.
Oh, honestly,
In the middle of a storm, whatever it was.
yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
When I drove back from there were just trees dropped across roads everywhere. But we were all right. It were a good night. We had a good weekend. But yeah, I do love me glamping. Love getting out into the wild. Yeah. Cheeky, enjoy the sunshine, mate, because you're one of the few of us that's in the place like that. Right, next up is Yuri Nater. He's he's been on and asked, which fixtures in the FA Cup should we be targeting next round of the FA Cup? James, can you answer Yuri Nater's question?
Well, Liverpool versus Cardiff is a reasonably favourable fixture, I think. Don't think Cardiff are doing that well. Bristol City beat them this weekend again. And Man City versus Fulham. You can't knock Man City, but you're going to have to look at the lineups, aren't you? So I would stay. I mean, Chelsea have got Plymouth, but clearly you've got to stay away from them because they're off to the World Club Cup after that. So they've got single game week, but they're playing Plymouth, which would normally be something you dive in on. But I wouldn't be bringing in any Chelsea players. I might, if I had some left over, I might keep them for that fixture. But that's something that you're going to have to think about yourself, Yuri Nater.
Ben?
Yeah, it's a bit boring, really. They're all Liverpool, Man City. All the teams that you want to be looking at, like Leicester, are playing lower league, like playing Forest, but after that they've got good fixtures. They're a bit of a bogey, not a bogey team. It's a derby, isn't it? Forest, Leicester, so they'll be up for it. I think Forest. West Ham's playing Kidderminster. Man U's got Middlesbrough, but yeah, Liverpool, Man City, really.
Yeah, I think it's hard to target again because you don't know who's playing. I think it's one of them where, like, James, you pick up a good point. If there's any stragglers of Chelsea players left in your side, if they're not playing on that Plymouth game, straight out.
Yeah.
If they are, you might, like, say, I don't know, for example, Lukaku's left in your side and he lines up against Plymouth. You might just think, what do you want? That might be worth better than a double punt at like a double game week for somebody else. So yeah, hard to target the cup games until you know who's playing.
Yeah.
But obviously keep your eye on the obvious sides, which is like Leicester, Spurs, City, Liverpool, just not Chelsea, and not United. United don't play very well.
And not Arsenal because they're out.
Yeah, I mean Arsenal are seriously lacking in fixtures in February.
Yeah.
It's like they might as well book an holiday to Tenerife. Yeah, get their feet up. Yeah, that's all the questions done. Right, so on to the Dream Team Tonic Cash Mini League. Top 11 again. Top 11. So Ben, because we're on the top 11, it usually means you're reading it out, mate. So yeah, let's go.
Right, in 11th place, James Fricker.
Yes.
In 10th place, Henry Cartridge. In 9th place, Kerry Jones. 8th place, Niels Koopman. 7th place, Fergie. 6th place, Tony Sutcliffe.
Get in there. Come on.
And 5th place, Jonathan Perrow. 4th place, Steve Legg. 3rd place, Heath Robson. 2nd place, Dan Sherwood. And top of the shop, Alex Cole.
Flying.
I'm up to 19th, by the way. Come on.
Yeah, creepy. I think we'll be reading all 3 of our names out shortly.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, crept up there into 6. It's very close, though, isn't it? Very close. You can soon be 6 on the leaderboard. And next week, you're not getting your name read out.
It's getting closer, though, at the top, though, now, isn't it?
It is bunching up a little bit. Bunching up. Good to see. Obviously, Salah will be back soon. Like I say, it takes it down to a 10-player game, but we'll see.
Right. Fergie's had a bit of a mare this week with 11 points.
Yeah. We'll discuss that with him next week.
Yeah.
We'll ask him what went on. But yeah, 11 points. I think he was short of the Liverpool back line. I'm guessing. Without KDB. Not too sure. Patreon League. The top 10 in the Patreon League. James.
Yep. Okay, so in joint 10th, we have Paul Young and Connor Story. In 9th, we have Sean Siddell. 7th, Steve Broughton. Joint 7th, Steve Broughton and Mark McKee. In 6th, we've got David Dunkley. In 5th, we've got Connor Tobin. In 4th, Andrew Barnett. In 3rd, Michael White. And in second, we have Ben Lee.
Yeah!
And top of the table, we've got Paul McNally.
Happy days. Happy days.
I think I put the wrong team in the cash league, didn't I?
Do you know?
I think I'm bottom of that league. I haven't even looked.
I put the wrong team in the Patreon League.
Yeah.
I put my podcast team in there. I meant to change it over and I just forgot they already started. Because I meant to put my best set team for January in there and it weren't the podcast team. But yeah, that's how it goes. We'll have a look at the differential league this week.
Do we have to?
Well, I mean, you think it's bad for you, James. I'm 1 point worse.
Oh, God, yeah, you are, aren't you? I can see it now.
So we got the community's choice this month was Bowen. We have had a bit of an investigation whether it was fixed or not. So that's still pending. But Bowen's got the community of 39 points this week, which leaves them on a total of 140. Fergie went for Mora. He's at 11 points. That leaves them on 135. I had Lacazette. I think Arsenal strikers are a little bit cursed in this differential league. -1 for me. Leaves me on 102 so far. James, you went for Dennis.
Oh, yeah.
Dennis, the pissing menace.
He's not been menacing any defences since I brought him in.
He hasn't, mate.
0.
0 for you, which leaves you still on 85. Ben, a little bit of ground made up to the person in 4th. You got Tielemans, who's had a couple of decent weeks, and he's on 16 points, which takes you up to 69, mate.
If it went for those postponements, I could have got a bit more and might have caught you up there, James.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's relatively close. Obviously, we've still got February, March, April. Still got 4 months to go. So we'll see what the crack is there.
I've had a terrible one. In December, I had Jesus, who got me 5. And it's getting worse. Dennis was 0. I need to pull it out of the bag in February, don't I?
Yeah, you do.
Get back to the top of the league.
You do.
We'll be picking new ones now, aren't we, next week?
We will. And James, you won't be the final pick. Will you be the 3rd pick? Will you?
Yeah.
3rd pick, James. So you have to make it a good one this month. Although Dennis, let's say, he had the fixtures, he had the form. Right. We've got a bit bit of an exciting news. We've got some a special podcast that'll be coming out for everyone in a couple of weeks, which is something to look forward to. We've got an interview with a former player. We'll talk all things his career and dream team. So that's something to look forward to, obviously during the international break, or just after the international break. Next week, we've got the transfer special where we'll have Fergie back on. So that'll be up Monday, Tuesday, the following week for the patrons. Everybody that's listening, if you're listening on Spotify, YouTube, please subscribe and drop us a like. Spotify, they've got the rating system now. If you could drop us some stars on there, that'd be nice. Preferably 5. You know, I don't want to beg, but
High
5 would be nice. And yeah, just thanks everyone that supports us and listens, because it's muchly appreciated. And all the kind words we get, how well people are doing in their mini leagues and in the overall ranking, and how much we're helping. Hopefully, long may it continue. If you want to support the guys, and in the plus side for you, you get a little bit extra out of us. If you go to patreon.com/Dream Team Tonic, and just have a read up there about all the extras that you get, extra podcasts, the Discord group, and all that stuff. Lots of extra help from us, other than just listening to us. As ever, gents, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on, and do enjoy having a few beers with you. So cheers again for being on.
Cheers, Tony. Ben, I hope you get over your COVID soon, mate.
Cheers, lads.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I'm no doctor, but for me, for me, I always think that having a right good scoopful helps. Yeah, I don't think fruit juice does the trick. I think my saying is a couple of beers a day keeps the doctor away.
You say that, but you know, the other night we had the live Q&A on the Patreon.
Yeah.
And as the night went on, I start feeling really bad. I was drinking that night as well. I was like, "What? What's good?" And then obviously I had the test the next day, and I had a positive. So it weren't helping me out there.
Well, hopefully it can aid in your recovery. I don't think that squash will cut it, but we'll see, mate. But yeah, all the best. And yeah, let's try and, well, I say enjoy a week off of football. It's not enjoying, is it? But yeah, speak to you all next week.
Yep.
So, chaps.
See ya.
See ya.